Hello, everyone. It's Linda in Belize. Are you considering moving to Belize or investing here and not sure where the best place to do so is? Well, come take a look at how our Explore Belize tour went, where we looked at many different places that expats decide to settle or invest. And then you can decide if this is something you might want to do in the future because we have our next one coming up in March. So our tour started on Wednesday, January 11th, where everyone arrived into Belize City into the international airport, although unfortunately they had the big system outage in the US, which meant some people couldn't come, which was really terrible. We rented our van and started our drive into Placencia that day, and we did make a couple of stops. So the first one was at Quality Chicken, which is a place we love to stop for great affordable food. So that's in Belmopan. And we also stopped at Art Box, which did mean that we arrived when it was dark. And I don't recommend doing that if you're not an experienced driver in Belize, just because it is really dark and there's a lot of speed bumps. But luckily, my partner John has been doing it for years, so it was fine to arrive in Placencia at our hotel to get our welcome drink. So everyone loved our resort in the Maya Beach area. We were right on the beach, and on the lagoon side, there was a great restaurant, Adu Maya, which was just a short walk away across the road. So when we first arrived, we had a welcome drink, then we went for dinner, and the next morning we had breakfast before heading into the village. Now, one of the only things to note is that this hotel is non-refundable, and we were told because of the flight outage we should get our money back. But 2 weeks later, we're still trying to get this resolved. So hopefully that will be done in the near future. So even though we were staying in the Maya Beach area, we decided to go into the village, which I always recommend doing because it has a fantastic long sidewalk. And you can walk there without any traffic to see all the different stores, bars, restaurants, boutique hotels, and I really enjoy a lot of the places along there. And the place we went for lunch was Tipsy Tuna, which is a beautiful location on the beach. And we had our friends Anita and Scott join the group to share their experiences moving to Belize because last year they and their dog made the drive to Belize through Mexico. So they had a lot of advice for all of us because some of us are planning to do the same. And in addition, Anita's mom has mobility issues and she's also living with them in Placencia. So I'm going to show a video later on of how they're managing with that. So we toured developments along the Placencia Peninsula, basically to show what was available and some of the different price points. For example, around the Maya Beach area, we looked at land starting at under $90,000. And the other thing that we did was have a fantastic tour with the developer of Naya. So we met Stuart at the restaurant for breakfast, and then Aaron took us around, showed us everything available, and gave a lot of answers to questions that people had about the community. Many of the tour participants did feel that Placencia was a place they liked more than San Pedro, but this is really just a matter of personal preference. And I am going to show some interviews in the near future, so stay tuned for those. Another place we wanted to check out during the tour was Hopkins Village. So my friend Kim, who works with Remax in Placencia, joined the group to show some available properties in Hopkins. And then we ended that day with a fantastic dinner at the Italian restaurant, which everyone loved. It's one of my favorite restaurants because I love Italian food. Viewing Hopkins was great as the price point of one property was good for one of the participants in the group, and others found places they'd like to vacation. It was also great to have Kim on the tour with us because she showed a lot of different options for people. On Sunday, we returned to Belize City and took the water taxi over to San Pedro. Although a couple of people in the group stayed in Placencia because they had already been to San Pedro previously. So one of the places I always take people when I'm touring them around is to South Ambergris Key because when I first moved to Belize, I didn't even know there was much past Mahogany Bay. And I did a drive one time and turned back around because it all looked like jungle. And it's now actually one of my favorite parts of the island, and it's where a lot of my friends live. And the place we stopped at the end was at Playa de Sala. And that's a place I always recommend because it has a beautiful rooftop bar and restaurant where you can watch the sunset. And I often go down there on Fridays to watch. Well, first to go to the beach and use the pool, and then after go to dinner upstairs to watch the sunset. I will be presenting a video shortly on properties available for sale in this area, so if that's of interest, stay tuned. So we met with one developer who has many projects ongoing, including the Best Western, where I'm currently living. And here I really love the pool and the bar area. They also have a gym and pickleball courts, and it is in a pretty affordable price point. So if you buy in the new developed buildings that aren't constructed yet, you can actually get bank financing, which is very unusual in Belize. But there are also sometimes resale units that have financing. So if you're interested in this project, make sure you reach out to me. So we also met with my friend Clint in the Hilton sales office to go through any property that's available in Mahogany Bay Village, both in the Hilton along with private lots in the community, some that are from the developer directly and others that are resales at a more affordable price point. And Zach also toured us around his beautiful new homes that he's built right next door to my tiny homes. So if you are interested in property in Mahogany Bay Village and want to know everything available, make sure you reach out to me. So on North Ambergris Key, we also viewed a few developments as well to show people what the north side is like and to discuss different price points. I also introduced the group to some of my favorite restaurant spots in San Pedro, and even my tenants living in Mahogany Bay Village came along for the tour because there's a ton of places they hadn't been to yet because there's so many great options on the island. So the timing of the tour couldn't have been better from a perspective of the last evening where Mike Nash was playing at Stella Sunset. So Mike is someone we always go to see when he's playing because he is a very great artist who brings in a huge crowd. So Stella's actually sets up extra tables when he's playing and they are always full. So if you get the chance to watch him when you're in San Pedro or wherever else he's playing, make sure you take the opportunity. So if you're thinking a move to Belize might be in your future or you're an investor, you might want to check out different areas in the country because a lot of them are good for different reasons. And my next tour is starting March 9th, and we have a couple people already signed up. So make sure you reach out as soon as possible to confirm your attendance. And I hope to see you soon in Belize.